Hey, we're the Ramones, and you're watching Furia Metal.
20 years this year. What about all those bands from New York scene that time, Patti Smith and Blondie? Did you got together? How was the movement that time?
Back in the 74,
Back in the
75?
Yeah.
We were friends with Blondie. I don't know if we were really friends with many of the other bands. We were friends with Blondie and Dead Boys and the Heartbreakers. Some bands we had nothing to do with. Television, really never really spoke to television or anything like that.
And how did television invited you to play the first concert?
Television didn't invite us. We had nothing to do with them.
No. You did it by yourselves? That's it?
Yeah, we just contacted, we saw the CBGBs was starting to have bands, and we contacted CBGBs, and we got a certain night of the week, like Mondays, the worst night possible, and we had we played there regularly on a Monday until we started building up a big following, and then we played whenever we wanted.
Did you play in Mexican City as well? Or?
Later on, about a year later, we stuck to CBGBs, and then we'd go back and forth, alternate CBGBs one time, Max's the next time. It was very separate. Bands that played Max's stayed in Max's, bands that played CBGBs stayed in CBGBs.
They tried creating like club wars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Hilly
we,
Crystal and Tommy Dean.
We were the only band, though,
Max's.
that would play both places.
Yeah, we were the only band that would go back and forth.
Heartbreakers, a lot of the time, stayed at Max.
We never liked having promoters having a monopoly on where we
Yeah, we
play.
didn't like people telling us what we could do or not do.
And what was the main difference between these bands that used to play in Mexican City and...
Like the Heartbreakers would stay at Max's generally.
They like Max's because they could do dope there.
That's it. What about that tour? The tour Escape from New York that he played with Blondie in 1990. Was it a revival or just you met the old friends?
Just
Good time, good fun, that's all.
good friends, good time.
Yeah, it wasn't a revival
good
or
beer.
anything.
Lack of anything else to do.
Revivals when you're not around anymore.
Yeah.
We were always around playing.
Debbie's still playing.
I mean, we've been together 20 years. We've been going for 20 years. You know, we haven't stopped and disbanded and rebanded. We've been going
Yeah,
nonstop.
I like the tour with Social Distortion. That was a good tour.
How was, just a few people talk about the very beginning of the band. How was that in the beginning? Were you friends before doing the band or you just...
Yeah, we all lived, when we started the band, we all lived on the same block together.
We would carpool.
You know. So we were friends, and we just when we started the band, we just got our friends in the band. Regardless if they knew how to play or not, we just got our friends, and then we learned as we went along.
And when did you said that 74 was very boring music that time. Was that...
There's a few good things out there. You had T-Rex and Slade and the New York Dolls.
What do you think now, music? Is it boring?
There's probably better bands then. I mean, seeing Slade and the New York Dolls and all are probably better than anything I see around now.
Yeah, music was real, you know, for the most part.
You had disco, and now you have rap, so it's the same thing.
Do you think that music now is real nowadays?
No.
You see any talent?
I see a handful of talent. I like King Missile a lot, I think. You know, John Hall's great, real
Soundgarden.
clever. Soundgarden are great.
And, you know, Motorhead.
Breeders are a great band.
But
Motorhead
it's such a big business now. That's the difference. And it wasn't really quite to that extreme yet back in the early 70s.
It seems like the music today follows the fashions. Like when 60s fashion came in, you had all these bands doing 60s type music. Right. And now that 70s fashion is in, all these bands are doing like 70s type. It's kind of like what happened in England with the original punk movement there. Malcolm McLaren had a fashion store, and he needed to create a scene and sell his clothes. So he fabricated a band, and he sold his clothes. You know, and it was, you know, fashion and politics, and that's what's happening again. It's all fashion and politics.
It's more external than internal.
Yeah.
What about this revival of punk music? Do you think is a true movement or?
Boring. Green Day and all those. I mean, they sound good. They've got some good songs, but it's boring. It's nothing that ain't been done before. They haven't added anything new to it. I could see if they took the original idea and added something new, but they just ripped off the English punk bands. You know, and the singer even sings with a fake English accent almost, you know. So it's kind of ridiculous.
Ministry is good, and, you know, there are a handful of good people that are, you know, really mean it, you know what I mean?
You usually play some hardcore stuff. How is it?
We like Sepultura.
Sepultura, yeah. That's
Only they're not from New York.
For sure.
They're from New York, aren't they?
What about these bands? Biohazard, Sick of It All, do you like them?
But
There's a
yeah,
lot of
they're good. Yeah.
A lot of good hardcore bands in New York now. For a while there, things were kind of shaky, but I think Sick of It All and Biohazard especially brought back a lot of the old school hardcore type stuff.
What about this combination with rap and hardcore? Do you like that?
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's, I don't know.
I think hardcore bands should stick to hardcore.
Because they're mixing, like Biohazard, they're mixing
Yeah.
a lot with rap.
Well, you know, today it's like rap is the music of the streets.
Like
So a lot of the bands are doing crossover stuff.
Right,
Aerosmith, they mix a lot of rap.
They're the
and
first
hardcore.
rock band to do the crossover, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, with Run
Run
DMC,
DMC,
right?
And it's still,
They came
it
to
still
them.
sucked.
What kind of crossover do you have in your music? Is it surf music, is it punk, is it new wave, or is it
We can do pop, and we can do hardcore punk, we can do regular punk, we can do ballads.
Yeah, we mix it all.
Which was it first?
Even though it might all sound the same, we're very broad on this.
We're very, very extreme thinkers. Very deep.
For sure.
So we're
profound.
able to go into a few different type of things, you know, but it's all pure rock and roll.
What about the new wave movement and the punk movement? Did they start together and then they separated, or
No, there was
different
first.
things?
First came punk. First came the Ramones, then came the Sex Pistols,
And then when the wimpy stuff came in, it became new wave.
and then came the Cars, and the Knack.
Then it became new wave when the Cars and the Knack came out.
What about that concert in '76 that you play in London, July 4th? That a lot of people from this band, like Sex Pistols,
Played with the Flaming Groovies at the Roundhouse and Dingwalls,
And
and
Stranglers too. They were playing.
yeah, they were third on the bill.
Yeah.
And how was that? That concert?
I don't remember the concert,
You don't.
but remember we met all the people from the Clash and the Sex Pistols and the Damned. And Chrissy Hine too. We met Chrissy Hine there too, and they were all starting their bands right then. The Sex Pistols were already together for about a month or so, and the other bands were just forming like that week after they say after we see the show tonight, we're gonna start rehearsing.
What kind of bands do you have to support you now when you're touring?
Degeneration supports us. They're a new band out of New York. They just got signed to EMI. And well, anybody who's good and fun.
How do you keep in touch with them? Do you invite them, or
You know,
they send you the material?
The bands contact you all the time about playing.
Yeah. Send your tapes, send your manager tapes, and all that stuff.
You know,
Most of the times we don't get to pick them though. It's mostly the.
I mean, throughout the years, I mean, Black Flag supported us. You know, Henry Rollins and all that.
a lot of people at different times.
Yeah, a lot of different people at a lot of different times. A lot of the bands, you know, who got their start opening up for us, like the Cramps and all kinds of people.
What about Henry Rollins? Now he's doing a kind of movie career. He's starting acting.
Like 3 movies now? Henry
Yeah.
Rollins?
Yeah.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger, Charlie Sheen. What about you? You had
He looks like a young Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
It's all in the neck. It's all in the neck.
Yeah, maybe the talent lies in
Yeah, the
movies.
neck, that's a good neck he's got there.
What about you? Yesterday I was watching Rock and Roll High School.
No, our movie career's over.
Was it your first experience in the movies, or
First and last.
That was
first and last?
we have a song in
Yeah,
a new
okay.
film called Naked in New York that just opened. It's a Martin Scorsese film.
Interesting place that you ever played before.
Here is great. Argentina's great. Japan's great. Australia's real cool. America's real cool too.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Some places. Portugal was weird. Portugal was strange. Portugal was weird.
How much ass can you kiss? In one
France
time?
was weird. You know, that was weird. But
The most interesting place is probably in South America.
Africa. Have you ever
Yeah.
played in Africa?
No.
No, we'll skip that.
Oh well, we did the Canary Islands, and that's about right off the coast of Africa.
Is it the thing that you like doing best? Is playing live, or
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of fun because you get, you know, the reaction from the fans, and the fans are great, and it's nothing can really top that as far as excitement.
and how do you rehearse? Is it like you play live? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or
we
you?
rehearse about a half hour every year.
And that's how we do it, as fast as we can do it and get out of there.
You know, we do an hour set in 20 minutes, so that's how we rehearse.
We do it, no singing, no talking,
Yeah.
just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's right.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Half hour once a year.
And then we'll eat a piece of pizza and leave.
What about to compose songs? How do you do? Do you meet each other? Or?
In our sleep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Then we have to work on that a little differently.
How do you work in during composing?
We don't compose together.
You don't compose together.
No, we
we're
toured-
composing right now.
We're around each other so much on the road. When we go home, the last thing we want to do is see each other. So it's better when everybody writes their songs by themselves and then puts it on tape and bring it, and then we vote on the songs.
It's better we don't
Right.
see each other.
What about shows, concerts? You record every concert or most part of them, and then you analyze later, or you don't do it anymore? In the beginning of the...
We'll record some concerts. We'll tape them off the board, some concerts. Sometimes we film the show.
Then we dissect them.
Not all the time, but I mean, we'll look through it and listen to it here and there, you know.
What do you do with this material? You just keep at home, or you intend doing a video later?
I don't know.
We bootleg it.
Bootleg.
I don't know. Yeah, we have a lot of live tapes and things like
Yeah,
that.
there's a lot of good footage around.
A lot of good footage.
Good footage.
Do you know how
Mark's got it.
Mark's got all the good
I got it
footage.
all.
He's got,
So write and call me.
it's the Marky Ramone Archival Museum.
Do you know how many bootlegs you have? Have you got it all together? Or?
No, but there's probably 20 or 30 of them.
We
I don't
got
know.
more than most. You know, I guess we have there's a lot of them.
More than most.
More than most.
What about...
And we want the money.
Do you get any money with these bootlegs or never?
No, we don't see nothing.
You don't see the money.
I think of the art first before the money.
But mostly it's just bootlegs are for hardcore fans who buy all your records anyway, and they want to bootleg.
Yeah, no, it's always cool when you got a good bootleg of a band that you really liked. You know what I mean? It was fun.
We can understand.
Yeah, we understand.
With no
We've bought bootlegs in our
No
time.
bad feelings.
No bad things.
Only if they're shitty, we don't like them.
Okay. Do you do a lot of shitty concerts? Do you think, or most part you?
No, we don't do any
You
shit.
feel good.
Our show
Never.
is always good.
Yes.
Always good.
Never any mistakes. Perfect every
Always good. And always exciting, fun, and
Generally the shows we're pretty consistent. There's some bad ones, but generally we're consistent. But usually if the bootleg is bad, it's only because of the recording technique. You know.
Furia.
yeah, instead of normal tape, they should use a metal tape.
Yes.